I'm Shanhui Fan, a professor at Stanford and also a co-founder of Flexcompute. Today is my great pleasure to talk with Dr. Cris Baek, a corporate VP in Samsung Display. And I look forward in discussing how simulation and physics and AI would reshape display design in many different aspects. So Cris, thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me. Actually, I studied optics as a postgraduate, and I heard your name many times in the classroom. So it's really honor to me to talk to you.
Well, thank you, Cris. That was very kind of you. So maybe as a start, since certainly you lead the effort here in Samsung in display simulation. How would the display look like in the future?
Yeah, actually there are a lot of different kinds of simulation, but my main interest is OLED, the organic light emitting display. Several years ago, only bar-type smartphone used the OLED, but nowadays a lot of different applications start to use the OLED, such as the laptop or monitor, TVs, and nowadays even automobile start to use OLED for their display. In addition, currently AR and VR devices, augmented and virtual reality devices use the microdisplay. Microdisplay means it has a very, very tiny pixels with extremely high resolution. We call them OLEDs, OLED on silicon. There are several candidates for microdisplay, but I believe the OLEDs is the conquers this market.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I see it in terms of the size of display, but additionally, the design evolution is continuously innovated. There are many the smartphone that deploys the UPC design. UPC means under-panel camera. That means camera is located underneath panel. So the smartphone user hard to find the location of camera. You can easily find the foldable display in the market. Actually, I use one. The foldable display serves the large size display, so I can enjoy a lot of application to fit the large size display. I think that in the near future, you can see the totally different the design of display, such as slidable, even stretchable display. Several months ago, I led the SF novel, very thin novel. The title of the novel is Three-Body Problems. The Three-Body Problems novel describes the near future where every single surface is display. The ceiling and the wall of the building and clothes people wear, and even vehicle, they used to get around. Everything is display. Now is the imagination, but I believe that's the reality in the near future.
Oh, that's a very exciting thing to think about. That every surface around us actually has display and coupled with camera and sensing and so on. Certainly you are, at Samsung, leading the effort towards that kind of future. And by doing simulation, what are the hardest R&D problem that you actually face in your simulations today? Are they speed, accuracy, the need to include multi-physics, or maybe design automation, or anything?
From the traditional simulation point of view, display has very, very difficult to simulate because display has a lot of layers of which thickness is very, very tiny, with lateral size is very huge. So this very high aspect ratio makes simulation very difficult. And nowadays, the smartphone users, display users want to use very high performance. So companies should provide very high performance display with low cost. That means the display engineer should consider the performance, but also the failure rate to manufacturing line. This is I think everything is the simulation problem. If we can use the very fast and very high accuracy simulation, we can test the performance of new product before we make a real samples. In order to make the realized very high level simulation, we need the very advanced technology simulation. Every point of simulation is quite critical to advance the display performance.
Well, that's certainly is quite clear that the simulation is really at the center of the future display design and innovation. Of course, simulation has a very long history, right? But it used to be, especially for engineering design, many of the simulations are slow or are not very accurate. Now, in recent years, of course, there's a lot of new innovations in simulation. We see the rise of, for example, specialized hardware such as GPU for accelerating simulations and so on. And so how does those new capability actually change how you do your simulation, how you engineer, conduct these kind of design or simulation in a day-to-day basis?
Definitely. GPU is one of the main player in the simulation, I think. A lot of the engineers want to simulate as many as possible. But as you mentioned, in the past, the simulator was not fast enough. So it was really impossible to simulate as many as I want. But nowadays, the speed of simulator is getting higher and higher. Simulation engineer and executives of the display company can gain a lot of simulation results. So based on this simulation result, the engineers and executives can make their decision before, as I mentioned, to make a real sample. So thanks to the Maxwell, we have a governing equation to simulate the optical or electromagnetic wave phenomena. So we can imagine and predict a lot of the relative phenomena. But I think we don't know enough yet. So we should try to research more, I think.
Definitely, yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense to think about many of these new possibilities that has opened up by enabling a fast simulation and also to enable people to do better design and better decisions from the executive. And as you know, Flexcompute has a lot of strength in electromagnetic and optic simulation. Maybe you can comment a bit on how electromagnetic or optic simulation, the role that it plays in thinking about display.
As I mentioned, the display has a very difficult structure to simulation. With the Flexcompute technology, I think the very high-level Flexcompute technology already took the Samsung display's optical simulation ability to the next level, I think. Before the Flexcompute technology, we couldn't simulate only one very small size of display. But the display is the art of light. So precise control of light is really important to implement very high-level display. So that means the structure, the architecture of display is getting more and more complicated. For the new product, it takes a lot of time and money to test and develop the new display. So everybody wants to simulate before we start to make real display samples. That means the simulation should be moved first. As the product of display is getting more complicated, we should simulate a lot of split with the complicated structure. That is quite a tough point to my team's simulation engineer. But nowadays, we can cover little bit small part of the optical simulation. I think this is just the starting point to realize the complicated simulation, but I think that we can move the next stage with the close collaboration.
Definitely, yeah. So I very much like what you said about the fact that display is the art of light. That's such a beautiful way of saying it. Because I was looking at the beautiful display in the atrium here, and they are just stunning. So it really is the art of light, and of course, the light is governed by Maxwell equation, which is and solving Maxwell equation allow you to control light. So it's really a beautiful way to say it. Part of, if I understood correctly, part of your use of the simulation is also in improving, for example, mass production, improving in addition to device design. Perhaps you can say a few words about the use of the simulation in the design to manufacture, in the context of design to manufacture.
Yeah, I think every company is the same. Every company has the same problems. Every company wants to make their own product with low cost and very high yield rate. I think the half of my engineers focused on just the performance design. But if we want to realize the low-cost product, we have to control the failure rate during mass production. But unfortunately, I think we can't cover enough of the fabrication line condition. But I think this is not a problem of the numerical analysis. I think the physical and current scientific knowledge, such as physics and chemistry, even mechanics, can't cover all of things that is needed for high yield and very low failure rate in the fabrication line. So I think if the Flexcompute want to find another field of simulation, I think that if you focus on the reliability and the yield condition of the fabrication line, I think that is a very nice field to advance the simulation technology.
Well, that's a very interesting idea, certainly. Perhaps you can elaborate more along this line. For example, one of the things that people certainly would like to do is to reduce the number of experimental prototype that one need to construct. And for that purpose, you would, of course, accept a very good correlation between the simulation results and the actual performance of the device, right? So maybe can you comment a bit on that prospect? Will we get to a day where you don't even need prototype, for example? We can just do a simulation and it will go to production, and that would, of course, cut a lot of cost.
Actually, I think the simulation to measurement correlation is an eternal challenge to simulation engineer and me. When I joined the simulation team first, the accuracy of the simulation was very, very low. So everybody said to me, I would be happy if you could guess correctly left or right. But nowadays, the accuracy of simulation is getting higher and higher. So sometimes my CEO said to me, why your simulation result of transmission is 95% and measurement is 94%? Yeah, but everybody doesn't, everybody is not satisfied with the current condition of the accuracy of the simulation. So we should try more. This kind of the accurate the simulation result the engineer and executives can skip some of the prototype with the current simulation result. So everybody imagine actually, they don't want to make the test sample or prototype. They want to go directly to the mass production. It's quite hard for me to imagine the simulation modeling can cover all of the condition of fabrication line. So I don't know, it's the possible to totally skipping any prototype. So my final goal or as a simulation team leader, I want to make just one prototype and then we go forward to mass production.
Well, even just doing one prototype to go to mass production would have been amazing already, right? Because it would save a tremendous amount of experimental cost. Making the hardware is certainly very expensive. With that as a background, so we covered a bit about the technology of display and also the challenge and also opportunity of simulation. Perhaps we will talk a bit about the collaboration between Samsung Display and Flexcompute.
Yeah.
And so we are quite honored, in fact, as a startup to have the opportunity to work with Samsung Display, the leading company in the world on display, and to work on some of the most challenging simulation problems together. But one question that really I'm curious is, in a way, how did you select us? Because when you look at partners, what are the things that you look for?
I think the most important thing is the capability. The speed of simulation and the accuracy of simulation is also very, very important. But I want to find the software company that can resolve my problem that I can't. Yeah. When I meet the Flexcompute, I want to evaluate capability of the technology if Flexcompute can scratch my itch. Yes. So the Tidy3D is the first solution that my company starts to use. Until now, I think it's very successful so far. But my CEO still said to me, I'm still hungry. You should advance more your simulation accuracy and time. I think that one of the Flexcompute, strength point is the speed of the simulation using the GPU and any other technology. The Flexcompute's parallel processing technology is very, very high level in the world. And I evaluate the simulation speed with my real display structure. I think it was quite successful. I'm quite happy to find the Flexcompute and I can use the technology of Flexcompute. I'm also still hungry. We should go first. I mean, I would be happy if we could go first more.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, there's a lot of exciting challenges that we can tackle together. As we mentioned, right, one of the, at the moment, Samsung Display is using extensively the Tidy3D software. What role has Flexcompute played? On design, on integration, on co-development, new workflow. How does the Tidy3D actually played in your design work or your display work?
The Tidy3D is very nice. The simulation to cover the optical and electromagnetic phenomena, and as the display should cover a lot of functions such as the biological sensors and the digital security gateway. The display should have the complicated design. So Tidy3D is a very fast simulation. It can be used for predict the optical phenomena of the display. So I think that so far, Tidy3D give already a lot of the nice solution to resolve the problematic issues. But I think just is the beginning stage. I and my engineers think that if Tiny 3D could be more advanced, we can cover the current problem as well as the future problem that may happen with a complicated display structure.
Yeah, that's a very interesting perspective and certainly interesting thing in looking at the future. At present, how much improvement in terms of maybe speed, turnaround time, or if you may, even cost, do you see by using Tidy3D already? And how much more improvement would you like to see?
I think it's quite strongly depend on the structure of the simulation. In our product, when we use the commercial software to simulate with our display structure, it takes maybe 1 or 2 days. But when we use the Tiny 3D, the time of simulation is reduced up to just several hours. Yeah. So when we saw the result of simulation first, every optical simulation engineers were really surprised the resultant the simulation speed. We can simulate a lot of problems that we couldn't before. We can find the optimal point a little faster and easier.
Yeah, that's certainly one of the strengths of being able to do simulation at large scale very fast. How does that fit into your current existing design flow? How do you use it in your current design flow?
The display is made with a lot of different and separate steps. The design flow and manufacturing flow is already set up, but each issues is a little bit separated. Tiny 3D may provide the total solution of one product. I think that it's a little bit hard to evaluate because the process that is already set up could not be changed easily. Right. So our main purpose is to advance the several specific process step, not total process, because it is difficult and a little bit dangerous.
Right, yeah. But in other words, though, it is that you are able to fit Tidy3D into your existing flow and to achieve the overall improvement of the existing flow. Is that right? In the very beginning, we talked about how you select your partner. And obviously, technical performance and technical capability is important, and we cover some of the improvement that we see in using Tidy3D, one of our main electromagnetic product. But beyond that, I imagine there are other aspects that when you select a partner, you also consider. After all, we're sitting together. So can you comment on some of the other aspects that as you work with Flexcompute?
The technology is really, really important. Technology is just a tool. And I want to say it's the people that make a value. When I meet the several Flexcompute engineers, I explained my problem that I want to resolve. When I explain, the Flexcompute engineers' faces and eyes is quite interesting. When they heard my explanation, their face and eyes looks like they say, it is quite curious and interested and even excited to meet very funny things. And everybody wants to start to resolve, even though it's a big challenge. I think the Flexcompute has a very nice technology, but because of not technology, but the Flexcompute engineer.
Well, I'm very happy to hear that. Certainly, I very much enjoyed listening to many of the problems in design in the simulation. They're extremely educational, and I learned enormous amount as well. So yeah, so it was, has been a fun conversation. All right, so maybe we should stop here. Thank you, Cris. It has been really a wonderful talking to you, and I learned a lot. So thank you.
Thank you.